I think we have a fun meeting plan for today. We'll see how it all comes across. But let's jump right in. The crowd is building slowly but surely. I don't get it. Meeting starts at 8:30. There really should be some conversation about email or Zoom etiquette. Okay, good. You got Misty in. Perfect. Perfect. There we go.
Oh,
All
look
right.
at that.
Fancy dancy.
Double trouble.
All right, it is April 19th. So in my world, this is the halfway mark because April 15th business is probably just getting turned in now. So it's really pretty encouraging. What I'm going to show you in a minute. But I always like to start with quotes to get our mindset in the right track. With April well on its way to being a strong month throughout North America, take a look at the following quotes to see if they can keep you on track. Let's back a little bit on that. A strong month throughout North America. Name a thing that's going on that's kind of upsetting.
A war?
There's a war.
Gas prices.
There's a pandemic. I heard Shanghai is locking people in their houses, closing all businesses. No commerce can happen in Shanghai. There's rampant inflation. I spent $120 at the grocery store the other day and I didn't buy any alcohol. I mean, I got like carrots and beets and shit like that. The last one was, interest rates. They're talking rates over 6% now. Blasphemy. Right? Crazy. If you try and you fail, congratulations. Most people don't even try. This is really important for where we're going today. You'll never be criticized by someone that's doing more than you. You'll always be criticized by someone doing less. Don't forget that. Isn't that true? Don't be afraid to give up the good to go for the great, said John D. Rockefeller. Failure is the condiment that gives success its flavor. Isn't that true? Action may not always bring happiness, but there's no happiness without action. Right? So if you intend to go knocking on doors or doing some Moxie stuff, presentations, delivering CMAs, and you don't take action on it, there's no happiness. But if you do it, who was I talking to yesterday? Sent out her, it was Jackie Stone. Jackie's our little, she just kind of, we propose an idea and she goes and does it. And then she reports back that she did it and it worked. So she sent out 5 Moxie Works presentations and she got responses from 2. That's a damn high. That's a 40% ratio. Try to duplicate that anywhere else. Finish month strong. I'll talk to you next week. Okay. I found this graphic that Puma put out yesterday. I thought it was awesome. Turning Florida gold for 30 years. Look how Florida lights up. And aside from Miami being a little bit brighter, look at the Tampa Bay area. That's us guys right there. And the rest of the state's dark. We are blessed again. And our inventory has been about this level now since, 6 months. Active listings at 110, it jumps to 113, it drops down to 107, it goes back and forth. We've only taken 37 listings so far this month, and 20 of those are already sold. Okay, that's like really important for us to recognize that this is not normal, and this is going to start to change. But I did some market share research I'm going to share with you too. We have 101 sales so far this month. And once again, some sales haven't been turned in yet. So for 1.45 million. So if you double that, we're tracking 2.9 million. Holy cow. Pinch me. That's amazing. I mean, almost $3 million open in the month. Forecasting, of course. Closings, we're at 51 for 566,000. And then there's a big one. We have 155 contracts pending to close by April 30th. What is that? 19 days, we have 11 days left. We have 155, enter 11 divide. It's 14 closings a day if they all close evenly. But what's going to happen, Joe?
Some won't close.
No, they're going to cram them to the end of the month, and April 30th is going to be a hell day.
That could be too. I try not to do the end of the month.
We talk about it, but nobody listens.
Mhm.
When is the 30th? Oh, it's a Saturday.
So
So what does the contract say, Joe? If your closing date falls on a 30th,
well, hopefully they didn't schedule it for 30th,
it gets automatically extended to the next business day,
which is Monday, the 2nd.
Monday, May 2nd.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, May 2nd. Yeah.
Yeah, May 2nd. So that'll mess all that up. So, and we can do that. I don't have it open right now. When we switch screens, I'll go do that. Okay, Misty, I know you're standing by and we're talking about closings. You're going to be busy. So why don't we stop sharing and put you on?
Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, you get told with you there. Hi, India.
Hi. How are you?
Good.
So I have India and Megan here with me. Just wanted to get them on and say hi. We're actually here in the Apollo Beach office. So we wanted to say good morning, and they said they're definitely feeling the closings. And they feel that whenever they are pushed, and they're clustered all in one day or at the end of the month. But something that I do want to put you guys on alert is recently in one of our offices, we had a situation where, and I know that we talk about this all the time, but it is just so important because this could have been very bad. The agent could have, been caught up in this. So agent brought us a deal. The seller was a foreign seller. The agent did not know the seller. It was supposed to fund yesterday. Our closer kind of got a little, leery on it. She got the seller documents back. The IDs looked okay, but she's like, just something felt off. The buyer didn't really want to send his money. He's like, I'm just, can you make sure that everything's a go? And we sent all the documents and IDs to our legal counsel. We sent it to a first specialist, and then we asked if the seller would do a video chat with us. We gave them multiple options: iPhone, with FaceTime, Zoom, Ring Central. We gave him all kinds of options, and he refused. And we said, no, we're not doing the closing then. I mean,
Red flag.
yeah, we could have lost, a lot of money. So if you ever get a seller like that, just make sure that you know them. Maybe set up a video conference with them if, they want to list a property. Just take all those precautions, ask for their ID. That could have been.
Misty, that's one of my lessons to our agents is if you ask for their ID for a buyer's ID and they refuse to give it to you, that's a sign. Don't show them.
Not do a video chat, because they know when you get on the video chat with them, they're not the same person that's in the ID. And that's what we ran into. Like, he knew that we were going to obviously realize like it was not the same person.
Wow.
And it could have been very bad. So that's why we're constantly preaching just be so careful.
And we did training with Chris last week, and he was going to the Fan app, and it's such a cool way. We have so many neat tools now as Paramount Title to get the EMD handled, to deliver painlessly the escrow wiring instructions, all those safety protocols that really just need to be in place. So thank you for all your diligence.
Yes, no problem. Thank you, guys.
You got it. Okay, I've got a couple little things I put in here. I talked about the pandemic, I talked about the war, I talked about interest rates. Isn't it amazing we're doing as well as we are? And then I put into Zillow sent me something last night, and I thought this is interesting. This is just talking about houses that have solar and hurricane proofing, self-aster, that makes sense. But this is the paragraph I wanted to share with you. Mortgage rates increased last week, with the average 30-year fixed rate exceeding 5% for the first time since late 2018. 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. It's almost 5 years. Most of you watching haven't been in the business for 5 years. With the release of the Federal Open Market Committee meeting minutes last week, markets got confirmation that the Federal Reserve will be aggressively combating inflation. The minute suggests several 50 basis point rate hikes are possible this year. The Fed is planning to reduce its balance sheet. Its holding of U.S. treasuries and mortgage-backed securities was slightly more aggressive than some markets participants expected. Rates increase in response to the hawkish Federal Reserve, while economic data continues to show strong labor markets and inflation pressures. This week, markets will be reacting to inflation data, releases, and any developments in Ukraine, which could impact interest rates. All right, what is the thing, Jeff, that drives all economies? Starts with a C.
Consumer confidence.
Consumer confidence. So that paragraph exude a lot of confidence? No. So that's an issue. So that's what the media teaches people. Now, what's really going on? When inflation happens in real estate, what happens? The values go up.
Yeah, when values go up, your dollar buys less.
Yeah, but I'm not selling my house. So, let the damn thing become $3 million. Right? That'd be great. I got bragging rights. So inflation raises real estate values. And Jeff and Mike and myself are preaching, when your value goes up, go get a home equity line of credit and buy a friggin' asset that'll pay for your Ferrari. Or another asset, or another asset, or another asset, or another asset that throws off cash flow. Put your money to work for you, right? It's just insane. This long story, very short. Back in the early to mid 90s, I had a bunch of vacant lots for sale. And this one street across the canal from me now is called Sonata Lane. And Bob Gantz was a retired dentist, all these streets. And I wanted those damn listings so bad, and some other broker had them because I had everything else in the neighborhood. And anyway, I got them. And then my strategy was, I think he had 20 lots. They're all waterfront, and we couldn't sell them. There's just so many lots for sale. The absorption rate was like 1 every 3 months. And I convinced him to build a spec house. And that spec house, it was Gary Knight, Jeff, who built it. And we designed it a budget basement, 2,100 square foot on the water, no pool, 2-car garage, 4-bedroom, 2-bath. And who wants to venture a guess at what the price was for this brand new waterfront home?
210.
Close. 199.9.
Wow.
That's what it was. 199.9 for a 4.2 on the water. That house just hit the market at 975. I'm sorry, 899. And it went pending in 1 day. 199, Thomas, to $900,000 pending in 1 day, not updated, original, circa 1998 or something. Crazy. I did the Zillow update. Oh, I forgot to talk about this. D.R. Horton was so impressed with our event that they came to. They wanted to do something extra for us. So they said for me to just pick, and I said, I'm not going to pick. The first D.R. Horton sale in May, so you can't sandbag right now. Whoever sells the first D.R. Horton sale in May and calls me, there's an extra $1,000 bonus from D.R. Horton. Just to say thanks and for having us to the meeting. And by the way, we'll sponsor anything you guys want and just keep it coming. So that's kind of a flat feather in our cap. Nice to know. And so if you sell a D.R. Horton, the first person to sell a D.R. Horton and call me, I will report you to Courtney, and Courtney will get you an extra $1,000. No broker take. Cool. That works. Where's my mouse? Okay. Okay. Now what we're going to do is going to be fun. I think it's going to be fun because it's hard. Where's my Zoom? It's hard to understand where we are, right? It's hard to read the prescription when you're inside the bottle, right? So we're inside the bottle of Tampa Bay, and outside of that bottle is prescriptions that take one daily and you'll become rich. But we can't see it because we're inside the bottle. And people are coming here from other places, and they're seeing Tampa from a way we don't see it. So Matthew, the coach I work with, has a woman who just joined his mastermind group, and she just bought a Century 21 office in Golden, Colorado. and she's trying to get into new home developments. So he asked me to talk to her and give her some pointers. So I did. And, just like when you try to help somebody, you end up getting helped yourself, right? So I'm talking with her. Her name's Athena. And she's got this opportunity. A developer has contacted her. He's taken apartment buildings and he's converting them to condos in Golden, Colorado, which is not a big mecca, right? And I'm telling her about our market and vacant lots, and this is going on. We built these houses, we're building these condos, we're doing these things, 9-bedroom house, all this stuff. And she's got these little 500 and 600 square foot efficiency things that are being carved out of apartment buildings. And I told her that in this market where I am, that we're reaching about $400 a foot, which is a long way because we're $200 a foot a couple of years ago. And she goes, yeah, we're up to about $700 a foot. And I'm like, Golden, Colorado? Yeah, Coors is made there, but other than that, it's not Denver, right? So I went and I looked, and I just want to share with you. So if you lived in Golden, Colorado, this is a 290 square foot house. This is just like the waterfront house I was just telling you about, right? It's about, looks like that. 2,200 square feet, 4 bedrooms, a 4 bath, $980,000. Right now, of course, micro markets, right? Maybe this is South Tampa Plant School District, but look at what you get for $980,000, a 2,200 square foot house. Jeff, what do you get in Seminole for 2,200 square foot?
You get a lot different than that for how much a square foot?
Well, this is only like 400 and something, but look at this. So this house last sold in 2004 for $379,000.
Wow.
So this buyer now has $600,000 in equity. Plus he's been paying down his mortgage for 16, 18 years. So he's 18 years into his 30-year mortgage, most likely, and he's got $600,000 in equity.
Wow.
So what happens when he comes to Tampa? He's got $600,000 in cash. Most of it's tax-free. And he's moving to a state where, marijuana is not recreational, but you got no state income tax. So get your card and you're fine, right? Because they're Denver people, they smoke all the time. But look at that. That's the story. And that's what you need to see, in my opinion, of when you see through John Smith eyes, then you see what John Smith buys. So I've asked every manager to pick a market, and let's just talk about what's going on there. And let's see what John Smith is seeing when they come to Tampa versus wherever they're from. Okay. Let's start with Kathleen.
Well, when John Smith comes from Boston, Massachusetts to Florida, John Smith becomes instantly wealthy. How would you like to have a 1,200 square foot condo? And this is all sides of the city, the north end, south end, I scoured pretty carefully. And how would you like to pay per square foot? Anywhere between 864 a square foot. Maybe if you're lucky, you'll get it down to 801. These are not brownstones either. I didn't even look at the brownstones because I knew they would be through the roof, 1,000 plus per square foot. So double taxation's bringing people down here from Massachusetts like crazy to our area in Sarasota. That's why I became a lawyer and a broker up there, so I could get some of that money that's coming down here. And it's just incredible when my sellers and buyers come down here, because we're able to list up there and help them buy down here. The first thing they say is they can't believe our taxes are so little to nothing compared to what they're paying on that 801 square foot per, let's see, that was 1,136 square feet. The tax base on that condo, are you ready for this? $15,000 a year for taxes. That's just for the property taxes. Then you've got your state income taxes, your federal income tax. By the time you're done, you could easily be spending $40,000, $50,000 a year in taxes. So there you have it. That's why they're flooding down here. Jersey's got the same thing going on. New York's not quite as pricey, but then again, we'll let Thomas speak to that, because parts of New York are even more pricey than Boston. So that's mine in a nutshell.
I just want you all to see this. This is real stuff. Let me show you something
Crazy.
else. Elliot Eisenberg, I just signed up for FAR webinar next month. Elliot Eisenberg is called the Bowtie Economist, and the stuff is really good. And I get these every day. The Friday file, I have this on Monday. Looking at tax burden, the proportion of personal income paid towards state and local taxes. New York has the highest burden at 12.75%, followed by Hawaii at 12.7%, Maine at 11.42%, Vermont at 11.13%, and Minnesota at 10.2%. At the low end, Florida is 45th at 6.64%, New Hampshire at 6.41%, blah, 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 blah. Right? Guys, it's stacking up in our favor, and I think you need to recognize it and start talking about it because people don't know. And that's what people don't see. You know, you get a buyer from Colorado. I like what you said, Kat. When they move here, they become wealthy.
Instantly.
They save taxes and they got no mortgage payment because they got so much equity built up. Joe, what do you got looking at? You're muted.
There we go. So if you want to live in Maryland, which, you know, is in outside, if you're in the middle between Washington, D.C. and Baltimore, which is a very highly affluent area in Maryland, very close to Fort Meade, which houses.
Did you say affluent or affluent?
Affluent. Affluent.
You know what affluent is, right?
Yes.
Pretty shitty area.
You're looking at, you know, a 7-bedroom house about $1.7 million on 3 acres. But what that price doesn't tell you is the tax burden of $18,000 a year. Now you have a 7% state income tax. And on top of that, you have a 3.5% county income tax.
Holy shit.
So what you have is, you know, the tax burden is incredible in some of these states. And when they come to Florida, you know, in Maryland, if you're coming down here, you know, you're almost looking at parity for housing, you know, price wise, but the tax burden is so much less. When you think about a 7% income tax and another 3.5%, you're talking about 10.5% income tax plus your federal income tax. So, you know, that's an incredible. Now, what they do see differently here is our homeowners insurance, which is much higher than up there. So you can get homeowners insurance on a house up there, you know, an $800,000 house for about $800 a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was asking my son, I was like, his house about 800. I said, how much do you pay for homeowners insurance? He said, $850. And mine and yours are over $3,000. So, you know, it's a very different, but looking at that, you know, they can buy a lot more house here because they don't have the tax burden that they have in Maryland. So
absolutely.
There you go.
Property and federal.
Property and state. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Julie, where are you from? You're
All
doing
right. Well, I chose Chicago, Illinois, because that's where area I'm from. And
I've been there. That is going to be an interesting market.
Yeah, I know, because Sam and Chris, you know, it was actually just the opposite of what I thought everybody else was finding. And I was surprised. And I looked into it, and I actually had been working with an agent up there a few years ago when I was doing short sales. She helped me with a client, and I shot her an email, and she said, our market is completely different from some of the other areas that you're seeing. And I was telling her some of the prices of condos and things here. She said they did not fare well during the pandemic like we did. You know, there was a lot of lockdown going on. And interestingly, the kids and I went on vacation in Tennessee a couple months ago, and they literally were just allowed to go back to restaurants again and not have to be 6 feet apart and not have 4 people at a table. So everything in other parts of the country you don't even think about it because we've been
Blessed.
enjoying so much, freedom. So a condo, like a nice luxury condo in Chicago, would go for 2,795,000, which is like 800 and some square feet. Whereas here in Tampa, a luxury condo that's similar to this would be almost $4 million. So it's absolutely the opposite of all the other areas of the country. It's almost double more. It's almost twice as much to live here than it is there. Even when I pulled just like a nice home like that one that you were just showing in Chicago, a home that was a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath that's brand new was only $800,000. And here, a home that was that size brand new would have been over $1 million. So yeah, Chicago has a different thing going on up there.
Wow, interesting.
Yep.
When you see through John Smith eyes, then you see what John Smith buys. Crystal, what do you guys say?
So I chose Knoxville, Tennessee. And so I lived in Knoxville for a while.
Hold on.
Similar,
Tammy just said the murder rate is keeping prices down in Chicago. Sorry to interrupt.
no, that's fine. So Knoxville is middle America, similar to Florida. No taxes, no personal sales taxes. So, you would think, my folks who have been relocating here have been a little sticker shock. In Knoxville, average sales price is $325,000, 186. Go Vols, I see. Thank you, Rachel. But I was I converted too, but $186 a square foot. So you can imagine my client who relocated here was a little sticker shock, and her budget doubled when she came here, and it was what it was because she was used to a particular style house, and she got broken in pretty quickly to Florida prices. So 186.
All got broken into quickly on Florida prices because they were double where they were 2 years ago. So
Yes.
Mr. Reed.
Good morning. So I looked at a couple different things, and I decided to kind of look at it from an investment perspective. So I looked at what an investor would look at buying for like an Airbnb vacation rental, and I compared it to an area in Blue Ridge, Georgia. So that's a pretty popular vacation rental spot. And I was looking at what somebody would buy there, what the average price is, how much they would have to spend, and what their return would be compared to an area like Apollo Beach, which really isn't even on the map for a lot of people at the moment. So the average price of a home in Blue Ridge, Georgia, not on the water, just surrounded by a bunch of trees and retaining walls so your house doesn't fall down the mountain, down the hill, was $655,000 year over year. And the median home price was $655,000 year over year. The median home price in the month of March was $699,000 for a 2,300 square foot home. In the
Blue
middle
Ridge, Georgia.
In Blue Ridge, Georgia, the median home price last month in March for sales was $699,000. A year ago, it was $569,000. So the prices have definitely gone up in that area. The condos, the median home price of a condo there was $479,000. So pretty crazy pricing there. And there's 232 homes on the market that you can buy right at this time. But when you start looking and comparing that and what your rental rate return would be if somebody was going to buy there, if you go on airdna.co, it's a really cool website. They rate different Airbnb, VRBO vacation rental areas. That area has a rating of a 72 or 74 right now. But the Apollo Beach area is rated at a 92. And when you look at the average pricing for what you would get, the daily rate of rentals in Blue Ridge, Georgia is $300 a night. And here in our area is $375 a night. The occupancy rate there is 65%. And here it's over 85%. So what you can buy here for $600,000 compared to buying there for $600,000 is going to get you a much greater return here. Taxes are going to be right around the same. Your only difference is going to be your insurance, and that's just going to be depending on how close you are to the water. So when you start looking at the two different markets, it does look like that market is slowing down a little bit because there's 232 homes active on the market, and there's been about 20 price reductions. So at least 10% of their active inventory has had price reductions over the month of March coming up until April.
Wow.
So it was pretty interesting to see a 2,400 square foot home and their median price be right around $700,000 for the month of March. Just look at what you can buy if something comes on the market. We recently had 3 waterfront homes that we listed that were all under $700,000 that you would be able to rent. And when I looked up their daily rates there, they were anywhere between $219 and $400 a night, depending if they had a pool or what the other amenities in the house were, with a dock, boat, and things like that.
Crazy. Brother Jeff, what did you compare? Because you and I talked just because you missed the manager meeting yesterday. And
Yeah,
I said, what are you going to talk about today? I said, we're going to talk. He said, no way. I was just thinking about that. So
I did 2 things just for fun, not even knowing you were doing this one. I went to, let me share for a second. I think it's interesting. This is watercolor. I went up to, obviously, for vacation rentals.
yeah, if you haven't seen the 30A area, guys, it's worth going up there.
So check this out. So this is, because we've got the 9-bedroom houses coming up and the cool stuff. So this is a place that has larger homes. 6-bedroom houses, $13 million. These are not directly on the beach, guys. 8-bedroom houses, $8 million. 7-bedroom houses, $7 million. 9-bedroom house, $6.8 million. 4-bedroom house, this one is on the beach, 6.2. This one's not on the beach, 6.5 million for a 4-bedroom house.
That first one's a condo. The one that's on the beach.
It's ridiculous. No, that's not. That's a home.
No, the third one down on the right.
Right here.
That one, yeah, 6,278,000. That's
Yeah, for condo. And then what's driving this is all short-term rentals. So that's the interesting market, because we're starting to get buyers here from this market. They're saying, this is what I have to pay up there. I could do the same thing for a 5-bedroom townhome here. I could buy for $1.7 million. I got to pay $5.5 million for a 5-bedroom place up there, and then still to rent it out.
Well, I've spent a lot of time up there, Jeff, and the attraction there is that all the South, Alabama, Georgia, that's the closest beach to them.
That's right.
So the wealthy people in those areas all vacation there.
Yep.
But the one thing that they haven't realized is that Tampa International Airport is a major hub and has direct flights from all those little places. And it's a puddle jump. It's an hour and 20-minute flight and you're there.
The last one I want to hit is Laguna Beach, right? Because we actually have a buyer that just bought one of our spec houses here. And we thought we were crazy pricing it at $2.375 million for a house on the water.
Go Uncle John's house in Manhattan Beach.
That's sick. Look at this, guys. A beach house is $46 million there. $28 million, $19 million, $18, $17 million. And we get nervous trying to charge 3 or 4 or 5 for ours.
That's a 3-bedroom house for $14 million.
Yeah, but it's 5,000 square feet. $15 million for 5,000 square feet. So that's why it's just a whole different eye-opening experience. And it's just awesome. And this guy come over here, actually lives in Laguna Beach, bought this house for 2.3. He's put in probably 600,000 in upgrades, which I couldn't even imagine what he's doing, but he's running special gas pipings for his torches that fly up and do the LED things, and everything is over the top. The flooring is 10 times what any nicest flooring we have in, and they're just coming in, upgrading everything to Wolf and Subs, and so paying way above what we consider market, plus flooding it with tons of cash. And then he's like, you guys, this is still cheap. So it's an eye-opening experience to see what's going on around here.
Yeah, it is. Thomas Simmons, your old stomping ground. What's going on up there?
Good morning. So yes, I grew up in Long Island, New York, and in Nassau County. So when I was looking at these statistics, I realized how blessed we are. I'm trying to get my parents to come here so they could save some money. And what I found out is that the median list price out there is $779,000. Yes. As of last year, this time, the prior year it was 600,000. The current year is at 650 with an 8.3% change in price. But when you think about New York, you have to take in consideration that they have the single family homes, they have the condos, and they have the co-ops. So what they do is they group all those things together to get that median price. So what I did, I looked up a single family home. A single family home on a canal, get this, 659,000, 3-bedroom, 1 bath, 1,300 square feet for $506.92 a square foot. Why wouldn't you want to be here in Florida?
Yeah.
So the other thing that drives people from New York to Florida is the taxes. I mean, my parents have a home there. It's not very large, about maybe 2,000 square feet, and paying about $15,000 in taxes a year. And you know, of course, they're seniors, so they get some discounts there on the taxes, where here we have our homestead. They don't get any of that. It's until you become a senior, you get discounts. And it's a percentage.
Wow. All right, guys, these are all real talking points. Otis.
So my homework assignment was Austin, Texas. And
Hot.
Austin's definitely got higher prices than us. What I found was on the low end for a home with no yard or very little grass in the yard, because they don't grow grass like we do here. And bars in the window, you're looking at about 300 a square foot. For the homes that are in the center area, and I don't know if I can share my screen here. There you go. Can you guys see that?
Not yet.
All right.
You're a
so-
co-host. You should be able to share.
Yeah. It's all funky on me. I'm not sure what's going on here. There we go.
There goes.
All right. So you'll see this one. This is a pretty good sample of what we got. And this is a home that's unit A. This is in the center of the town. It's 2.95 million, unit A. It's a 4-bedroom. It's only 2,700 square feet. And I wanted to show it because, as you can see, this is nothing
Over $1,000 a foot.
over $1,000 a foot. You can see where it is in perspective to downtown. And then the taxes on that are $30,000 a year. And
Holy
then,
cow.
yeah, homeowners insurance by itself is over $1,000 a month. So you're looking at, for this right here, is pretty expensive. You're looking at about $6,000 a month just in escrow before you even get to the payment.
With your $600,000 down.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And this is, this is about where the good neighborhoods are. And when you go to that part of Zillow here, I did something similar to what Jeff did, and I just kind of put my cursor. I mean, a 2-bedroom, 734 square feet, 312. 610 for a 2-bedroom, 1,470 square feet. So once you get in there, 876,000 for a 3-bedroom, that's 2,000 square feet. 899. Now this is a decent one. It's a 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,900 square feet, but you're looking at $900,000 for it. So Austin, Texas is far more expensive to live, and it doesn't have beaches. It's got a river, but it doesn't have the beaches. It doesn't have theme parks. Doesn't have a lot of what we have here.
Football, baseball, ice hockey, doesn't have
Yeah.
any of that stuff. Airports.
No professional football team, no professional baseball team, like you said, no ice hockey. So yeah, this is definitely a good spot. You can come from Austin, Texas to here, get way more house and really enjoy the amenities of where we live.
Yep. All right, Ashley, where are you going to take us?
Los Angeles, California.
Woo woo.
So, as far as what everybody's saying, it's just so amazing. The area that we are so lucky to call home, truly. As far as people coming from LA to here, they're going to see a lower cost of living. Entertainment, obviously, there's so much close by. Every major sports team, with the exception of basketball, but that's only an hour and a half away if we're, for
Oh, that's
Orlando. Obviously the beaches are wonderful here on the Gulf side. Average home.
Oh, and we
over
can
there-
swim in the water here.
You can swim in the water. Well, and it's also warmer, right? Because the
That's what I
ocean's
mean.
a little chilly. Okay. So I also was looking at the prices of homes. It varies between 965,000 to some websites say just over $1.1 million for the houses, home prices average. And Tampa is still showing like less than 400, right? That's huge. When I also looked at a couple websites as far as salaries, their average salary was 68,000 per year and ours was 67. So when we're looking at a cost of living that is 73% higher in Los Angeles as compared to here, and when we're looking for the same wages, isn't that crazy? And if you're looking at just the housing, it's 214% higher for housing there than it is here. So
Well, I spent some time in LA and I know what you're talking about. And I would talk to my Uber drivers and stuff, and they can't live in LA. They got to go live out in the valley in the desert and drive into LA to find anything affordable. And that's where Tampa's going now too. When I say Tampa, I mean Tampa Bay.
yeah,
But
and I
you're
know
gonna
how
have to go out
everybody,
toward Lakeland, out toward Brooksville, and then they're gonna have to commute in to work at the casino or something because they can't find anything in Tampa proper they can afford to live in, unless they're gonna roommate up. Right? It's
why would
changes
they
coming.
do that. But
Right.
one thing I know that we always, people always joke on all of our community websites, like, someone's talking about moving here and they're like, no, we're full, go home.
Right.
Type thing. Well, it is kind of crazy. So we complain about traffic all the time. LA is considered the most congested city in the US as far as traffic. Tampa, 31st. So not anywhere close.
Wow.
So yeah.
Mr. Puma, bring us home.
Yeah, so I did something similar to Chris because I've been so involved in our beach projects. I wanted to look at the investment opportunities at the Jersey Shore. I was born in New Jersey, grew up spending a lot of time at the Jersey Shore as well as Ocean City, Maryland. So I wanted to take a look at what can you buy in those areas. And so in New Jersey, I was actually a little surprised around the Jersey Shore at first when surface level, I looked at it, average sales price as of March was $405,000 for a house in the Jersey Shore. So I was kind of surprised. Now, as you got more on the water, the average jumped up to about 600,000, just shy of that. So I was that surprised me a little bit. I expected it to be a little higher, but when you started looking at it from what the Jersey Shore is, for most people, it's a second home. So then I started looking at, well, what are those investment opportunities? What does that second home bring in? Or could it bring in from an investment perspective? And that's where things get a little different, right? And I actually had this conversation with a real investor from New York yesterday, and we were chatting about it. And he said, listen, I can buy $1 million house on the water in the Jersey Shore, and I can get about $12,000 a week for rental income on that house. However, I'm only getting it for 60 to 90 days a year, because then the weather turns and no one wants to be there. Right. So then the rates drop significantly or it sits empty. So when you look at what we're able to accomplish around the same price points for $1 million here, we're building these 9-bedroom homes. Those are going to generate $15,000 a week in rental income, but that's
They'll rent 40 weeks a year.
Exactly. That's, at a minimum, you're talking a 60 to 70% occupancy rate. And we actually average closer to 90 along that stretch of the beach. So our potential income there is so much higher, but also the general market there is a little bit different. 633 units sold in the Jersey Shore in March of, a month ago. And then 75 average days on market. So when you just look at how things are moving there, they have almost 2,500 homes active on the market just in the Jersey Shore. So just a different shift there. Yeah, you can see how the market is shifting. And I think it's a lot of people saying, hey, we can live anywhere we want. If we're going to spend a similar amount of money, why not do that in water that's actually clear and nice to swim in? And so I think you're seeing that big shift plus the rental side, and then 2.5% property tax. in there,
Ouch.
that alone. So that hurts, right? And so obviously we're very lucky to live where we live.
Cool. All right, that's a nice little segue because I did some research after I finished the agenda last night. I was still not tired, so I did some research, and I'm going to do this real quick. You can write it down if you want. I didn't put it in the PowerPoint; it's just written down here. Joe, how many listings are there for sale in 33629? Do you think?
Oh, let's see, possibly 40.
46. Good
There you
job. 14 of them are paying a 3% cooperating broker commission. 15 are paying a 2.5% commission, and the lowest commission in the market is 2%. So you see that because you're hearing all these commission pressures. I'm looking around and saying, oh, Apollo Beach, 47 actives as well. 15 are paying 2.5%. 4 are paying 3%. That's it. Shame on us. Lowest is 1%, and that's Lennar. Sun City Center, 45 active listings in the entire market. That's Sun City and Kings Point. 8% are paying 2%, 8 are paying 2%, 19 are paying 2.5%, and 19 are paying 3%. It gets better. Brandon, 33511. Only, Thomas, 27 homes are for sale in that huge zip code. 10 are paying 2.5%, 2 are paying 3%. Riverview. Remember when Riverview, I would show you stats and there was 1,600 units closing a month? There are only 22 active listings in 33569. 22 actives, only 3 are paying 3%. So those blue collar markets are just, they're compelling. Now Longboat Key has 67 active. Longboat Key used to have 400 actives. There's now only 67 actives. 14 are paying 2.5, 53 are paying 3%. Why is that? Michael Saunders, Coldwell Banker, and Sotheby's control that market. And those pompous pricks charge 3%, whether you like it or not. And all the also rans behind them, just copying. So those 3 markets, that's what I want to do. I want to dominate that. Say, bullshit, we charge 3%. 34236, right under our office, 82 actives. 72 are paying 3%. Only 10 are paying less than 3%. Wow, different market, right? But more actives, but we usually have hundreds of units there too. Madeira Beach, 52 actives. 7 are paying 2%, 8% are paying 2.5%, 2.25%, 22 are paying 2.5%, and 7 are paying 3%, with the lowest one being a $1,500 flat fee. And then Indian Rocks Beach has 17 active listings in the entire town. 12 are paying 2.5%. The rest are less. I looked at one. It was a dead end canal, old house, not updated, $2.1 million. Crazy stuff. So what does that tell you? Number one, inventory is super tight. Because if I look at, and I didn't write all these down, but I looked at the pending contracts, the pendings are probably 3 times the actives. So that's just pent up demand. But don't give in on your commission. Look at that, put that little search item on your MLS criteria field and see what's out there and show the sellers, look, people are paying 3%. We need to do it. And you deserve 3%. So that's my point. All right. That took more time than I thought it was going to, but I hope you saw value in it because I thought it did. I mean, we have to see what John Smith sees. And there we go. All right, I'm going to go through quickly now. Make sure you have the Moxie Leads engine phone number in your phone. I'm just going to keep saying this. Some of you think about it, but just type it in your phone now, 903-294-4442, and then save it and put a special ringtone on it. Done. You know, Jimmy is busting his ass to make sure we're teaching you Moxie in a way that's educational and working. And he's sending surveys out to get feedback on how he did. And out of the surveys he sent, only 14 replied. So I'm going to ask you to find that email and reply to Jimmy. I won't spend a lot of time on this, but we talked yesterday about database. Your job is to grow your database and manage your database. And before we get you super involved in Moxie CRM, we want you to spend some time and clean up your database. Take the crap out of your Google contacts you don't want, because it's all going to come in, garbage in, garbage out. And then as we go beyond, you know, I was thinking about Aixa the other day. She's at 26, 27 years with the company now, made millions of dollars in commission, sold thousands of homes. But back then we didn't have a computer. We really didn't. We used MLS books to start with, and we didn't have a database. But we do have a database. We put something into this program called Dash. And if you need a database of all your past clients, we have it, and we will gladly export it and send it to you. So that's a start. And then once you have that, then you go, and I'll show you an example. Really cool. Where is it? Invitation, no. It should be highlighted. Elliot. There it is, neighborhood news. So I want you to have a database of all your past clients, and I want you to set them up on a neighborhood news so they get something every month from you. Because they ain't getting it from you, they're getting it from Zillow, or they're getting it from Redfin, or they're getting it from Realtor.com. I get stuff from all those places. This is nice, it's clean, it's professional, it's ready to go. All the work is done for you. All you do is set them up and say where they live, and it goes, and then you click, you get a nice pretty report. But you can't have that set up if you don't have your database set up. And if your database has your brother and your sister and your cousin, it's not going to be as relevant, right? So this is a nice little depiction of what's going on. Look at these prices, guys. $2 million, $3.8 million in Andalusia. Totally different world, right? St. Martin's Way is a mobile home park, even though those things are up in the 150s now. So anyway, get your database up. Ojo report. I just call this out because someday you guys are going to look at me and say, you're right, we really should have been doing this. So let's go. Did that. I'm going to play that in a minute. Looker. Okay, this is Century21.com leads that you guys didn't answer that went to Ojo. 67 went to Ojo. I'll show you the leads in a second. Ojo worked them with their call center and said, hey, 10 of these people are actually good and want to talk to an agent. They gave them back to an agent, and 83% of the time we accepted them. But you're not upgrade, you're not kissing the ass of the app. So it's blackballing you. And then one customer actually got a showing out of 10. So 67 attempts, 10 people said, yeah, I want to talk. And one person actually set an appointment to show a house. That's just giving you a ratio I want you to see. And then we've also got, this is, Ribbon. So Ribbon, 84 of you have signed up to be qualified as a Ribbon agent, which is the guaranteed program that guarantees your offer to be cash. Your rich uncle will pay for it if they can't. 27 agents have put buyers in. We have 31 buyers working in that system, and 6 of them are under contract right now. So there's a resource for you.
Can I chime in on that real quick?
Sure.
I chatted with an agent yesterday, and so she said, hey, can you talk to me more about Ribbon? I was just vacationing, talking to an agent in the area. This is just across the state in Florida, and asked him, what's the market doing? How are you guys handling multiple offers, getting your buyers under contract? And he said, why are you not just checking cash on the contract and putting the offer in that way for your finance buyers? That was his answer to getting buyers under contract. Just check the cash box. He said, well, what are you telling them that it's financing? No, we're just checking cash, getting it in there, and making them go through that.
Bad idea.
Yeah. So that was recommendation. This is from a producing agent who does fairly well. And that was what they're using because they don't have Ribbon in their market. We have Ribbon in our market that gives you the ability to make it a cash offer where your buyer's escrow will not be at risk after the inspection period. They will still get the house, even if they don't get their financing or the appraisal doesn't come in at their guaranteed offer. So if you're not using Ribbon, please look into it. It's a great program. Everybody that's used it has had some really great successes. And that was a good correlation. That's the alternative. Check the cash box, put your buyer's escrow at risk, and tell them too bad, so sad. Hope you get the home.
Put their escrow at risk and their appraisal at risk.
Yes, all of it.
Greg, I just got my third ribbon offer accepted last night, and one of them was, and this one was a VA.
Nice.
So guess what all my VA buyers are going to be doing?
There you go. Look,
Because that's the only way we're going to get them accepted at this
we're
point.
not teaching you this shit because it doesn't work. I mean,
No.
that's how you compete in the market.
Yep.
Zillow Flex team, I sent an invitation yesterday for a meeting at 11. Chris and I had a coaching call yesterday. We've got some good news to share. So please RSVP if you haven't yet. Everybody so far that has RSVP that said yes. Just a reminder, Angelique sends out every week the classes. Guys, these classes are good and they're relevant and they're timely because we got managers and myself, we're in the market, we're in the street. We know what's going on and we're giving you good value. So this is kind of cool. I'm going to play a 1-minute video. If you're a top agent, which means your master's and above, you should have gotten this invitation. And where is she? This is like, it's actually 1.5 minutes. But I think you should take advantage of it because this is some brainstorming stuff that's masterminding across the country like we just did. But listen to what she has to say.
Hey, Century 21 top agents. Our April mastermind is coming up this week. It's Wednesday, April 20th at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Below this video, there is a button that says RSVP. If you click on that, it's going to take you right into Century 21 University to register for the session. There has been an update to the university, so if you're having any trouble registering, just click log out, log in, and you'll get all that information. You can also search for the masterminds in the Learning Library. There is a Learning Library search, and if you just go ahead and search for masterminds, click on Top Agent Masterminds, and go ahead and register for Wednesday's session. Last month, we had 2 masterminds. We had one virtually, and then we had one live at 121 in Vegas. And we talked about working with the sellers with pricing objections. So we had 2 topics we covered: pricing and commission objections from sellers. And then our second topic was how do we counsel sellers who want to take advantage of the market, but they're not sure on what they're going to be doing on the buy side. They're worried about low inventory or where they're going to move. So we had a really amazing discussion. In fact, I'm going to put the collective in the workplace group that we're all members of so that you can see the discussion that we had at 121. But come on over to Wednesday's mastermind. We will go ahead and have an open discussion over what are the main challenges and topics that you're dealing with. The market is changing very fast with interest rates going up, expected to be at 6.75 by the end of this year. How is that impacting our business? How do we become more informed and better able to counsel our clients and our customers? So let's have a really good, deep discussion as to how we're already handling it and how we can get ahead of it. So click RSVP, put it in your calendar and your phone. Make sure to carve out that time for you to develop your skills and to connect with other top Century 21 agents. I will look forward to seeing you on Wednesday.
Cool. So does that make sense to anybody other than me? I mean, if you're a top agent, you're plugging into the resources of Century 21, and this is going to be top agents from across the country. I don't know why you'd miss it. I mean, I sign up for these things all the time. You know, I'm going to be at the top brokers in the state of Florida next week or first week in May. And I get a lot of value out of that. I want to see what's going on. I'll share it with you. And if you learn these, you can share them with us. Moxie training. Jimmy's going live to South Tampa tomorrow at 9:30. And Jimmy's going live to Tampa to the beaches on the 27th. So it'll be next week. So that's coming up at 11 o'clock. Commission report, I did that already. Reminders. I think management team, we're falling behind on community outreach. I think Thomas is doing it. I don't think anybody else has done it yet. So it's there. Remember, my daughter Samantha is trying to populate. I hope you guys enjoy seeing what she's doing. I hear it's good. Some people tell me about it because I never go. But if you need to send her images, you want to help populate these social things and spread your news and your stuff, social@c2mb.com, or this phone number right here is how you can text her pictures of that. Really start planning to register. I don't think registration is actually open yet, but Florida 21 will be the mini Vegas just for Florida. It's a lot of fun. It's only 2 days. It's very inexpensive. Julie, we got a beach fest going on for Indian Rocks Beach on the 30th. That's the end of this month. I'm not going to have time to play this game today, so we won't do it. In light of the commission study I just gave you, there's not a lot in our primary markets that are offering 1% or $100 or $1 or $0. But I want to remind you that in dot loop, there's a form called showing agreement. And I'd encourage you, if you're seeing these 1% and you don't want to get screwed, I would have a buyer sign a showing form saying, hey, look, you're going to make up the difference of what I show you. Oh, I see an Easter bunny. Hold on. Oh, and this was a Jared James thing I read yesterday. He says, people, stop telling the public the market is crazy. The market's not crazy. The market is complex. It's complicated. It's competitive. Crazy kind of takes you to believe that, you know, it's just so crazy, things happen automatically. And it's not that case. The fact is, it's complex. You need me more than ever now. It's complicated. You need me more than ever now. The market is competitive. You need me more than ever now. So if we're telling, and I hear myself doing it, what's the market? Oh God, it's crazy out there. Which means things are flying off the shelf when I'm not needed. So let's change crazy to complex, complicated, and competitive, which I think will tie into my wizard somehow. And then happy birthday to Anna Maslenka, Charlie Lopez, Keith Petrakis, Derek Carlson, and Kim Hodgkins on the 24th. So happy birthday to them. Leads are on the up. Look at Century 21, guys, 143. They are crushing it. 13 relocation, 26 Op City, 9 for walk-ins, 32 sign calls. Zillow Flex. We made best of Zillow again, so that's going to get us more on the rankings. 68, our call rates are going up. All that stuff is working. I'm taking after hours out next time. Social ad engine, just don't need to use it right now. And then after that, I've got the award criteria. 165 is your base level to get into that top 8 section, to get into that group. And after that, I've got the end. One quick chat. There you go. Okay. Wow, 933, pretty good. I thought that was cool, listening about the markets and what's out there and understanding how the public might be looking at us as opposed to why they see more value. You know, that little house I spec'd for $199 20 years ago is now 900 grand. Because somebody out of state has been sitting there hunting it, and one came on the market and it's gone. Now, my personal opinion on that one, the grass looks like shit. The guy hasn't lived in there. He's got all kinds of notes. He's got dead palm trees in the yard. There's no pool. It probably hasn't been inspected. The roof is probably nearing the end of its useful life. Nobody did anything preemptively to qualify that house. So the buyer is likely going to get an inspection, get pissed, and go back and retrade for some options. Now, if the seller, in my opinion, would have done what I asked him to do, or tried to ask him to do, and never returned my calls, I would have had that house prime, prepped, and ready. And I still think that's part of the skill that we bring, because the market isn't crazy. It's complex, it's complicated, and it's competitive, right? Even though there's not much inventory. So that being said, anything else for the greater good? Chris, I saw an Easter bunny on your stage. You want to talk about anything?
We have an Easter bunny in the house today. We are doing an Easter egg hunt. If you're in the area, we'll be starting probably in the next 10 minutes. Just having a brief roundtable meeting for the area. Our lovely Easter bunny, right? So we'll be doing that.
Wonder who that is.
Couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. But we'll be doing an Easter egg hunt. We've got some breakfast and breakfast mimosas and Easter egg hunt here. Prizes, cash, candy, giveaways, and stuff like that for the next hour. If anybody's in the area, please stop by. We hope to see you soon.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Have a great Tuesday.